Right, so where are we at? 2 months ago, I bought a 1995 Suzuki RF900R in purple and silver, which I'm learning is kind of a rare, if not special edition or limited run, then just kind of like a rare colour. You never see an RF900 on the road, and I've never seen another purple one. Um, so I bought it off a friend for not much money. He really kindly gave me the bike for a really reasonable price, despite it needing work. It was still a really, kind price that he gave me. And so I've got it back eventually, and it's been sat for quite a while. And so the first thing I did was cleaned it. Then I looked at it for a couple of days because it's my motorbike. Wow, so I looked at it for a few days. Then I took the fairings off, and the tank, and the airbox, and the carburetors. I've got a list in there. It's about 4 pages long of single line stuff. All these things I've got to do. So I'll just try and outline the ducks going mad out there. The main things that need doing. First things first, the tank was rusty as hell, so I've cleaned it and lined it. The carburetors were stinking, pristine inside, but stinking on the outside to the point where the throttle was jammed. You couldn't turn it at all. So they've all come off, come apart into its constituent parts, and are there now cleaned. And the throttle now turns, mainly because it's not connected to anything. The battery needs replacing. The indicator on the back needs a bulb. The front forks need oil seal, dust seal, good clean. The brakes need cleaning, new seals, so like a kit, new hydraulic fluid back in, new pads. And while that's all off, I'm going to take the mudguard off and put I don't know if it's called a mudguard, honestly, on a motorbike. To me, that's a mudguard. But anyway, all the fittings and fixings for the fairing have to be replaced because they were 5 or 6 different screws and bolts and pins and whatever, and they shouldn't be. They should all be the same. But that's not an expensive or big job. It's just buy the new kit, and then when the fairings go back on after being cleaned, you use those instead of the old shitty ones. Needs new tyres. The brakes back and front need doing, so that's got to be done. But the main problem I'm having at the moment is the carburetors, because I butchered something I really didn't want to butcher, but there was no thing I could do about it. So that's going to have to be dealt with. But I'm at the stage now where I can start putting everything back together to go back on the bike and potentially start it, and then I can look at doing an oil change and coolant change, oil filter, air filter. The list is pretty extensive, but for me it's great because I enjoy doing this stuff. I'm not a mechanic, I've never been trained. I taught myself how to weld and did a load of blacksmithing myself, so that doesn't cross over at all really into what I'm doing here. But the interest is there for anything sort of mechanical and fixing things and that kind of thing. I thought I would get some sort of satisfaction from cleaning parts, and apparently I don't. I don't at all. Especially carburetors. It was shit. Really shit. But that aside, I've got the bike, I've taken loads of bits apart, I have a list, I know where I'm going. I've got a few problems that I need to deal with, I need to overcome, but once that's done I can put it all back together because I have all the parts for it, and then we can start rebuilding the bike, sort of the fueling system, so at least then I can run the bike up to temperature maybe once or twice, provided it doesn't go pop, then I can drain the oil and the coolant and replace both, and the filters also. But yeah, so that's where we're at the moment.